Hello everyone. In this video, I am discussing about organocopper reagents. Organocopper reagents. So it is designated as R2CuLi. Various type of organocopper reagents are used extensively, but the most popular is the lithium dialkyl cuprates. Lithium dialkyl cuprates. These are the most popular one. They are known as lithium dialkyl cuprates. So this is prepared by the reaction of alkyl lithiums. Alkyl lithium plus copper iodide, you will be getting R2CuLi plus lithium iodide. This is how this dialkyl lithium cuprates are prepared. These are the most important synthetic reagents in organic chemistry. Lithium dimethyl cuprate, for example, dimethyl lithium cuprate was first synthesized by Henry Gilman and was often called Gilman's reagent. So this is prepared by Henry Gilman and this was called as Gilman reagent. So lithium dimethyl cuprate is known as the first synthesized organocopper reagent is known as Gilman reagents. So in solution, lithium dimethyl cuprate acts as a dimer. It's like it is existing like CH3 twice CuLi twice. So this dimer is the active species which is existing in solution. The compound is often represented as 4 methyl groups attached to a tetrahedral cluster of lithium and copper atoms. So the dimer, you can draw it like this. The copper atoms, as you see over here, and 2 lithiums, I can show over here lithium. So this will be in a tetrahedral way like this, Now 2 methyl groups, CH3 for the one, and for the other one it will be from backward CH3 and CH3. So this is the dimer structure. However, in presence of lithium iodide, the reagent seems to be monomer end of the composition Me2Cu Li. So the monomer is having the structure as like this. It will be like Me, Cu, Me, and since lithium is more electropositive, this will be having plus charge, and here it will be having negative charge. So dialkyl lithium cuprates that are formed are not stable and must be used immediately. And these are used for a large number of synthetically useful transformations which may be divided into 2 groups of reaction. It will undergo 2 types of reactions, mainly the first group consists of substitution reactions, and the other one is 1,4 addition reactions, otherwise called Michael addition reactions. So these are the 2 types of reactions that lithium dimethyl cuprate reagent will undergo. So first we will be looking into the substitution reactions. Okay, so first one, the nucleophilic displacement of halides. Nucleophilic displacement of halides. A highly versatile method for the synthesis of alkanes and other hydrocarbons from organic halides has been developed by E.J. Corey and many others. Although it does not create a new functional group for the use of further reactions. So in order to accomplish this coupling, we must transform the one alkyl halide into lithium dialkyl cuprate. For example, if you have alkyl halide like RX plus 2 lithium, this will be done in ether solvent under dry conditions, and you will be getting alkyl lithium plus lithium halide, and this alkyl lithium prepared further reacts with CuI, and you will be getting the desired lithium dialkyl cuprate plus lithium iodide. And this active reagent, which is prepared in situ, reacts with another alkyl halide which is involved in the nucleophilic displacement of halides, and you could get RR dash plus RCU plus LIX. So this is how that reaction is happening. So in this reaction, R dash X may be methyl halide, and this may be methyl halide, a primary halide, this could be methyl halide, a primary halide, or a secondary alkyl halide, or it could be a cycloalkyl halide, or it could be vinyl halide, or allyl halide, or propargyl halide, or aryl halide. So variety of alkyl halides will undergo this type of displacement reaction. And the R group in the Gilman reagent can also be, it could be vinyl, it could be allyl, it could be aryl like phenyl, and it could be benzyl groups. So variety of higher hydrocarbons could be prepared by this method. So we will go through one by one. Okay, so first I'm taking the Gilman reagent R2CuLi. Now this will undergo various reactions, nucleophilic substitutions with various substrates. So first we will treat it with CH3X. Okay, then this is methyl halide. Now this is we are taking a primary alkyl halide. Now it could be a secondary alkyl halide of this sort, CHX, R dash R dash. Okay, now as I said earlier, it could be a cycloalkyl halide. Okay, now it could be a benzyl halide like ArCH2X. So this is the benzylic carbon, right? So benzyl halide, and further it could be allyl halide CH2 double bond CH2X. It could be vinyl halide CH2 double bond CHX, and it could be propargylic halide. So in that case CH triple bond CHX R dash, and it could be aryl halide ARX. So we will see one by one. Here R dash will be attacking, this will be del minus del plus. Okay, so this will be attacking over here, nucleophilic displacement of halogen will be happening, so you will be getting RCH3 as the product with methyl halide. Now we have primary alkyl halide. Here you will be getting R dash CH2 R. This halogen will be replaced. And here now we have secondary alkyl halide. This will be replaced. So you will be getting RCH, R dash, R dash. Now this is a secondary alkyl halide, but it is a cyclic one. So here you will be getting the halogen is replaced by R group. Now this is the benzylic carbon, and this benzylic halides also will react with Gilman reagent replacing this halide. So you will be getting ArCH2R as the product. Now this is the allylic carbon, and this is an allylic halide, and the product that you will be getting is CH2R. Similarly, this is a vinylic group and this is a vinylic halide. The product that you will be getting is CH2CHR. Now, this is a propargylic carbon, this one. Okay, this carbon is propargylic carbon and this halide is propargylic halide. So, the product that you will be getting is CH. R group will be attached over here, displacing halogen, and you will be getting the other one. And this is the arylic halide, so ARR. This is how the substitution reactions of halides will be happening. Similarly, the nucleophilic displacement by lithium dialkyl cuprate reagents is possible with other living groups also. So in that we will see about tosylates. So tosylate means if you are converting ROH, it could be primary or secondary alcohol. If it is treated with tosyl chloride, you can convert this into ROTS. Okay, ROTS plus HCl. So this OTS, tosylate group, this is called tosylate group, which is nothing but a sulfonate group. It's a very good living group, and if you do a nucleophilic substitution reaction, this OTS will be easily replaced. So the tosyl fluoride structure is para, that benzene ring with para methyl group and sulfonyl chloride. So this is called tosyl chloride. So this is basically used for the conversion of OH into a good living group. OH will be converted into OTS. So this is a good living group. So suppose you have a structure like this. A bicyclic compound and OTS. Okay, now if you are treating it with dimethyl copper lithium or Gilman's reagent, what will happen? This methyl group will be attacking over here and OTS will be expelled. So here you can prepare the higher alkanes of this. Okay, similarly if you have a structure like this, BHCO, CH2, CH2, OTS, and if you are treating with Gilman reagent, so here also this OTS will be replaced by methyl group, and you will be getting PHC double bond of CH2, CH2, CH3. Similarly, the allyl halides and allyl acetates also will give displacement reaction. So second category is displacement of allyl acetates or allyl halides. This is also possible by Gilman reagents. Suppose we have an allylic acetate like CH2 double bond C, CH3, CH, OAC, CH3, and you will be treating it Me2CuLi. So what will happen here? An allylic rearrangement will happen. Okay, and there will not be a direct removal of, instead of this direct attack at over here like this is not possible because this is a secondary allylic halide. Instead what will happen, it will, this methyl group will be attacking here, and this will be shifted, this pi bond will be shifted over here, and the acetate will be eliminated in this manner. So the product that you will be getting is this methyl group is attached over here. So CH3, now this CH2, then the second carbon with methyl group, then double bond CH, then CH3. So this is the product after rearrangement. Okay. Similarly, if you have a allyl halide like CH3 single bond CH2 Cl plus CH3 twice CuLi. So instead of direct nucleophilic displacement, here also what will happen? This will be attacking this carbon, and this pi bond will be shifted over here. Chlorine will be expelled like this. So the product that you will be getting is CH3, CH2, CH3. Now the new double bond comes over here, CH2. Similarly, you can have another substrate which is having an acetate leaving group. Suppose here methyl group, and here you have OEC. Okay, now you will be treating it with Gilman reagent, lithium dialkyl cuprate. Here also what will happen? This methyl group, nucleophilic methyl group, will be attacking this carbon, and this will be shifted over here, and acetate will be eliminated. So this allylic rearrangement is observed in many reactions. So now you should be very careful about the double bond. Okay, so here you will be having new CH3, and the double bond is over here. So this is the actual product that you will be getting. Similarly, propargyl acetates are converted into allenes with Gilman reagents. That means propargyl acetates are converted into allenes. Allenes, as you all know, which will be having adjacent double bonds, right? Double bonds on adjacent carbon. So with Gilman reagents, propargyl acetates are converted into allenes. So we will see how this is happening. So let me draw a structure of a propargyl acetate. So this is CH3 over here, CH3 over here. Here I am writing acetate group. So this carbon is the propargylic carbon. Okay. Now, if you are treating with CH3 twice CuLi, this is our Gilman reagent. So what will happen? This will be attacking over here. Okay, this one of the pi bonds will be shifted over here, followed by the elimination of acetate. So the product that you will be getting is CH3 CH double bond C, again one double bond C, then 2CH3. So this structure, this compound is called allene with double bonds on adjacent carbons. Okay, so let us look into another example of propargylic acetate forming allenes. Suppose you have a compound of this sort, OH over here, substituted one, and C triple bond CH, and an acetate over here. Right? Now if you are treating with CH3 twice CuLi, let us see what will happen. So this methyl group which will be attacking this carbon over here, this pi bond will be shifted over here with the expulsion of acetate group. So the product that we will be writing will have the structure OH over here, here double bond comes, see double bond CH and the CH3 from the Gilman's reagent. Now we will be looking into the epoxide ring opening by Gilman's reagent, which is an important reaction. Epoxide ring will be opened into alcohols. Okay, so let me write an example for this. Suppose you have an epoxide ring like CH3, CH2, CH, CH2, and here this is the epoxide ring. Now the reagents that you are using is Gilman's reagent CH3 twice CuLi followed by hydrolysis. So here what will happen, this can attack, ring opening can attack from two sides, either from this attack or it could be from this carbon, through this carbon. But it will not be happening from here because this carbon is highly sterically crowded carbon. So this attack will be happening only from less hindered side attack. So this attack is possible. So eventually what will happen, this bond will be breaking and you will be, after hydrolysis, you will be getting OH over here. So coming into the structure of the compound, CH3, CH2, CH. Now here you will be getting an OH, then CH2, then one CH3 from the Gilman's reagent. Okay, so this epoxide ring is opened. Now let us consider some other example like this. This is an epoxide, and if you are treating with Gilman's reagent followed by hydrolysis, Me2CuLi followed by hydrolysis. Here both sides are similar, so attack could be from any of the sides. So here suppose this is attacking from the top side, and then the ring opening, that OH will be from the bottom side. Okay, the R and OH group is always handy to each other. So the product that you will be getting is, since this methyl groups comes from top face and this OH will be on the bottom face. This is the product. Similarly, allyl and propagyl epoxides also undergo ring opening reaction. Here also there will be rearrangement of allylic and propagylic groups. Okay, as we have discussed earlier. Suppose I am taking an example, CH2 double bond CH. Okay, CH, 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 O, CH3. Now, if you are treating it with Grignard reagent, CH3 twice CuLi, then followed by hydrolysis. Okay, so the product that you would be getting is, first this will be attacking over here, not the allylic carbon. So this is the allylic carbon, but direct nucleophilic substitution over here will not happen. It will be always followed by a rearrangement. like this. Okay, so the product that you will be getting is one methyl group from the Gilman's reagent, then remaining things CH2 single bond CH new double bond, okay, then CH OH after hydrolysis, then CH3. Sorry, here that's not here. This one is not here. This will be over here. That can give the numbering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so fourth carbon, this will be obviously fifth carbon. Fourth carbon, you will be having OH group. Okay, so here if you are seeing between 2 and 3, you can have double bond. This is 1, 2, 3, like this. Now similarly, if you are taking propargylic epoxide, C triple bond CH and an epoxide like this. Now if you are treating with Ma2CuLi, what will happen? Similar type of rearrangement will happen. This will be attacking this carbon, Y bond will be shifted over here, and this will be opening. So the product that you will be getting is cyclohexane ring, and obviously as we expected, it will be an alene after rearrangement. Now let us move into the other type of reaction which Gilman reagents will undergo. It is called conjugate addition reactions. Okay, conjugate addition reaction. So there will be conjugation in the substrate that we are taking, into which the Gilman's reagent is added. So in the case of carbonyl compounds, simple aldehydes or ketones will not react with Gilman's reagent. There will not be any reaction. So instead, if you are taking the aldehydes and ketones with conjugation, that is, if you are taking alpha beta unsaturated aldehyde or ketone, for example, CH, C double bond O H. So this is an alpha beta unsaturated aldehyde, or it could be a ketone. This Gilman reagent will definitely undergo reaction in such a manner that there will be 1,4 addition, or it could be also called Michael addition. This will be happening. Why this is happening means alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compounds contains two types of functional groups. Functional groups. Okay, what are they? It will be a hard electrophilic center. There will be a hard electrophilic center at the carbonyl carbon and a soft electrophilic center at the beta carbon. Okay, here at the carbonyl carbon. Okay, so for example, if I am writing CH2 double bond CH, C double bond CH3. So this is an alpha beta unsaturated aldehyde, right? Alpha beta unsaturated, right? So if you are seeing over here, this carbonyl, if you are seeing, this is del minus, oxygen is electronegative. So here obviously this carbon will be highly electron deficient, electron positive. So this is the first type that we are talking about. This is the hard electrophilic center. Okay, now alpha beta carbon. This beta carbon is the soft electrophilic center. How this is acting as electrophilic center? As you know, this could be this alpha beta unsaturated aldehyde. It could be like this, right? So what you can write? CH2 single bond. Here, what positive charge will be coming? if you are writing the resonance. So O minus CH3. So here there is an electrophilic possibility. So that is called soft electrophilic center. So if this attack is happening at the soft electrophilic center like this will be 1,4 addition, or it is called Michael addition. Now if it is happening at this hard electrophilic center here, then it is called 1,2 addition. So in case of alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compounds, hard nucleophiles, if you are taking a hard nucleophile, hard nucleophile tend to react at the hard electrophilic sites. Okay, it will react at the hard electrophilic sites. So that is at the carbonyl carbon, right? And if you are taking soft nucleophiles, it will be reacting at the beta carbon. Okay, so here in the Gilman reagent Me2CuLi, this methyl nucleophile is a soft nucleophilic center. That is why it is attacking at the beta carbon. But if you are taking organolithium and uh, like alkylithium, organolithium means alkylithium, or if you are taking organomagnesium compounds like RMgX, okay, these are generally regarded as compounds in which the negative charge is localized on this carbon. Negative charge is localized over here because it is attached to an highly electropositive metal. So this is localized on this carbon. Okay, so such nucleophiles are called hard nucleophiles. But in Grignard reagents, here this is del plus, and this copper generates a negative charge. Here in turn it is having this one. So this is not a hard nucleophile, it is a soft nucleophile. Okay, so let me write an example in which a hard nucleophile attacks at the hard electrophilic center. I am taking an alpha beta unsaturated ketone over here. This is CH3. Okay, now if I am taking butyl lithium, so this is an alkyl lithium, as I said earlier. This is an hard nucleophile. So it will be attacking at the hard electrophilic center. So hard electrophilic center here is this one, whereas this is the soft electrophilic center. So obviously this is del minus del plus, the attack will be at the hard electrophilic center like this. So after hydrolysis we will be getting product like CH, COH. You will be doing hydrolysis. Okay, here CH3, here Bu. So if you are seeing over here, this is adding, the compound is adding at the first and second side. So this is called 1,2 addition. 1,2 addition. Okay, means butyl and lithium. So initially you will be getting here OLi, then you will be doing hydrolysis, so that lithium will be, that OLi bond will be hydrolyzed and you will be getting hydrogen over here. So overall it is known as 1,2 addition. This is the same thing is happening with Grignard reagent also. But Gilman's reagent, as I said earlier, they are soft. Gilman's reagent is having soft nucleophilic character. Soft nucleophilic character. Very important. So this attack will be at beta carbon. And this is very important. You will be getting 4 addition or Michael addition with the alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound. So let me write an example. CH2 double bond CH, C double bond O, CH3. Okay, now we are taking a Grignard reagent, Gilman's reagent, CH3 CuLi. Okay, now if you are looking over here, this number you can give 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now the nucleophilic attack at the beta carbon, alpha carbon, beta carbon. So this methyl group will be attacking over here, this will be shifting over here, this will be shifting over here. 1 for addition. So 1 for addition or Michael addition will be happening over here, and the product that you will be getting is CH3, CH2, CH double bond C O minus CH3. Okay, in the next step what will happen, this will be coming over here like this. We will be getting CH3, CH2, CH2 after hydrolysis, C double bond O, CH3. So this is the product. Or here you can write, this is like you can write CH3, CH2, CH double bond C O Li like this. Okay. Now if you are doing hydrolysis, what will happen? CH3, CH2, CH double bond C OH, CH3. So this is like enol, enol, ene double bond ene and alcohol ol. Okay, now this could be ketoenol tautomerism. So this is coming over here, this is coming over here, and the product that you will be getting is this one, as I wrote earlier. So this is the product. Now let us look into some examples, different examples on 1,4 addition of Gilman's reagent into various alpha beta unsaturated compounds. So in the first example, if you are seeing over here, this carbonyl compound is having double bond over this side, on the left side also, and on the right side. So where it will happen? So if carbonyl group is conjugated with two carbon-carbon double bonds, then conjugate addition takes place on the conjugate carbon which is less substituted. So wherever it is less substituted, there the attack will happen. So if you are seeing over here, the soft electrophilic site over here is this one here, this one right hand side is this one, and the left hand side is this one. So by seeing itself you can see that this is a disubstituted carbon and this is a monosubstituted carbon. So this will be the one which is less hindered. So attack will be happening over here. So methyl group will be attaching over here. So the product, now you can easily write like CH here, that methyl group will come from the Grignard reagent. Then here you will have your benzene ring. Okay, then remaining things CH2, after 1,4 addition you can write down the product, CH double bond C, CH3. So here the attack will be from the less hindered side. Now in the second example, alpha beta unsaturated ketone having a chiral center. Okay, so it will give two diastereomeric products in 1,4 addition reaction with Gilman's reagent. So how it will be? Let us see. So here what can happen? Attack from beta side as well as from the alpha side. Both can happen. Okay, so this Grignard reagent either could attack from the bottom face, or it can attack from the top phase. So both the product that you will be getting. So the stereochemistry you can show over here. This is CH3 double bond. Okay, now in the first example you can show the methyl group from the bottom side. Okay, and this will be the sterically possible one. So the other example will be methyl group at the CH3 at the top phase, and here also CH3. So 90% of the product formed will be of this type, because one methyl group already present. So attack from another methyl group from the top phase will be sterically hindered. So the preference attack will be from the bottom side. So 90% will be formed. This will be minor. Now in the third example, here we are taking suppose here also chiral center, this is at the top phase, and if you are looking into the Gilman reagent, this is an allylic Gilman reagent. Okay, so if you are seeing over here, there is an isopropyl group, this is also bulkier, and this is also bulky group. So obviously if this is at the top phase, the attack will be from the bottom phase, that will be sterically favorable. So you can write down the product as quickly as possible. There is no confusion. This is our isopropyl group, and from the bottom side you can write CH2 single bond CH double bond CH2. So in this reaction the favored product is always the trans product. Now looking into the fourth example, a single diastereomer is produced in this bicyclic. This is a bicyclic alpha beta unsaturated ketone, and the product has always a cis geometry. How this is possible is see. So here the attack will be from the top phase, because by considering its stereochemical thing, this will be attack will be from the top phase, so that it will be stable like this. Okay, so the product will be like this, where two methyl groups at the top phase. So you have to draw the chair form of the product, and that you can see this will be the favorable position of attack.